to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 11. Danny, still a Bears fan, I see, with the hat you're wearing. That's good. Even after Sunday. Did you see that game or just the highlights?
I saw
Enough of it.
they won like 3-19, right?
New England won 3-19. 19-3 was so bad. I mean, you probably didn't hear on Tuesday the Bears fired their offensive coach, Shane
They
Waldron. Just hit the roads, buddy.
Of course they
You're
did.
terrible. And they brought in this new. Well, they didn't bring in a new guy. They just brought up some guy who was a lower coach. Now he's the main coach of the offense. I don't know how much is going to change. It's going to be the same plays. It's going to be the same players. So how much can they really change? They have to change fast because
Yes.
we know who is coming up. And
But we won't say it yet.
we won't say it yet. Like, I'm scared. I'm nervous that Caleb Williams is getting worse. I'm nervous that this season is just going to start to
Go down.
spiral out of control. On the good side for you, the Vikings won. They beat Jacksonville, and they didn't even score a touchdown doing it. 12-7, right?
Yeah.
And Darnold was threw a lot of interceptions.
But their kicker did great.
The kicker did great, and they forced a lot of turnovers from Mac Jones, who was subbing in for Trevor Lawrence, who was hurt for
Did
the
he
Jags.
get hurt for his second time ever?
Lawrence?
Yeah. 'Cause he said last year
Right.
he doesn't ever want to get hurt.
Yeah, did he miss one game last year, I think?
Yeah,
Or-
I think it was just one.
Yeah, and then he's only missed one this week, or this year, but I think they might hold him out a couple more, because Jacksonville's, they're going nowhere. I mean, they've got no reason to rush him back. So the Vikings won, and they're now 7-2. Oh, I forgot to tell you on your sheet too, the Monday night game, the Rams lost and the Dolphins won. So if you wanted to add a win and a loss to those teams, you could.
Wait, the Rams.
Rams lost, Dolphins won. I'll go through the picks here while you update your sheet. Last week, let's see
Wait,
here.
Rams lost?
Rams lost at
Oh
home.
yeah, I remember seeing the
Dolphins.
Dolphins' great defense.
Yeah, I mean they held them to 5 field goals. That was pretty surprising with Stafford.
My dad could have put in the Dolphins' defense, but of course he
He
didn't.
didn't. Well, but your fantasy team won anyway.
Yeah.
So it would have just gotten you more points. Okay, so last week you went 9-5. 9 wins, 5 losses.
That's okay.
I went 10-4. So it wasn't great. Against the spread, you again had a winning record at 7-5. I made up some ground. I went 9-4. And Grandpa, he went 8-6. He had the worst week picking winners last week. But he also went 9-4 against the spread. So on the season now, picking winners, I have 101 wins. You have 95. 6 back.
Okay.
Enough, there's time to catch me. Against the point spread, you have 7 more wins than me. And you still have a winning record, and I have a losing record by 1 game now. But you have a winning record. You have 17 more wins than losses against the spread. That's awesome. Okay, another good Thursday night game here.
This is a great game, I would say.
Yeah, division rivals. What do you say? What is it?
Commanders, Eagles.
Right. These two teams, Washington is 7-3 in their division, and the Eagles are just ahead of them at 7-2. Jaden Daniels against Pittsburgh, he was actually held to just 50% completion percentage, which is
It looked like he was really tired,
tired.
and he didn't want to play.
Yeah, well, he couldn't run. I mean, he only ran for 5 yards, which, that's good by the Pittsburgh defense. How do you stop him and make him run for only 5 yards? Wow. So
Because normally he's a really good runner.
running for like 50 yards or
Yeah.
more. Philadelphia, they cruised to a 34-6, I think it was 34-6 win at Dallas. Easy.
Yeah. I
And-
don't. Oh yeah. Was they had? Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. And they forced 5 turnovers by Cooper Rush and the Dallas offense. They might have had a couple fumbles too.
But Dak was out.
He's out and he's done for the year now.
He is.
Yeah. But the Eagles only allowed the Cowboys like 2.5 yards of play, which is just pitiful. So the Eagles are playing good defense, and they've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith healthy. Washington took a loss against Pittsburgh on Sunday, so they'd like to get back on track. What's going to happen in your opinion?
I have a really close game.
Yeah, who do you think is going to be the star?
I just feel like Jaden Daniels isn't gonna throw the good. Well, he's gonna throw it good, but I feel like the wide receivers aren't gonna catch it good
Okay.
or run for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Eagles,
Okay.
and I feel like Jaden Daniels is the only good person on the Commanders.
You could be right. Yeah, I mean, Brian Robinson's a pretty good running back. Terry McLaurin is a pretty good receiver. But defensively, they're missing a few guys. I was mistaken. I called him Marcus Lattimore last week. His name is Marshawn Lattimore, the corner they got from New Orleans. And he's out another week. So he's a good player, and he will help their defense in the future. But he's not healthy for this game. I forget, did you say the score? Did you? No.
So, like I said, I'm picking Eagles 28-27.
Okay, I've got a few less points, and I'm actually going to have Philly covering the point spread. I'll take Eagles 24, Washington 20. So we're the same on the Thursday night game. Oh man, do we really have to? What's the first game Sunday?
Like we don't need to.
You don't? You think we should skip it?
Bears Packers.
I know. This is all going to be painful, Danny. Let's admit it. Green Bay has won 10 games in a row against the Bears. You were 2 years old the last time the Bears beat Green Bay.
Wow.
I can barely remember it myself. The Bears on Sunday against New England were disgusting. It was awful.
Horrible.
Caleb Williams was sacked 9 times. Now, he was sacked, I think, 6 times against Arizona. It was the first time in over 30 years that the Bears were sacked 6 or more times in consecutive games. That's terrible. Another terrible statistic, they scored 0 touchdowns again. And they scored 0 touchdowns against the Cardinals the week before. The last time they went 2 straight games without scoring a touchdown, 20 years ago. Their quarterback, Chad Hutchinson. He is a joke. He was terrible. Now Chad Hutchinson's name and Caleb Williams' name are linked. They both had 2 games as quarterback with no touchdowns. It's bleak. I don't know that things are going to get any better. I hope you stay loyal to the Bears, but I would understand if your fandom wavered because this team is falling apart at the seams. And I've seen it enough before, so I know the drill. You just shake your head and you watch and you say, maybe next year. But, so I hope it turns around, but I just can't believe that it will. I wish that they fired not only the offensive coordinator, how about fire the head coach, fire the general manager who picks the players, and tell the owner, sell the team, get rid of them. Because it's all a mess. My rant is done about this trash team. What's your thoughts on what'll happen on Sunday at Soldier Field?
Of course, I'm picking the Packers.
You think it's going to be painful?
Yeah, 21-28. So
Boy.
not that much of a blowout.
Yeah, but you do have the Packers covering the 6-point spread. I'll watch, but I feel like I have to watch with my eyes closed. Packers 24, Bears 6. It's going to be ugly. The Bears aren't going to score a touchdown again. I don't know that the Bears will score a touchdown the rest of the year. We'll see.
Well, here's a pretty good game.
Yeah, we can turn our attention to teams that are actually good.
Ravens Steelers.
Big battle for the top of the AFC North. Lamar Jackson, holy cow. He was awesome against Cincinnati in that Thursday game. He now has 24 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions on the season.
In the season?
That's great. In 10 games.
Whoa.
24 TDs, 2 picks. That's all. The Steelers, they took the lead against Washington real late with a nice just rainbow pass from Russell Wilson. And then they stopped Washington with about a minute and a half left. And they won. So this is in Pittsburgh, but the Ravens are 3.5 point favorites.
Oh, I forgot to ask how much games what were the games that I lost?
That you lost last week? I can go through those quick. You lost. You picked the Giants against Carolina. Bryce Young won another game.
I like that, watching that game actually.
In Germany, the
Yeah.
fans were really getting into it. Yeah, it was kind of cool. You missed the Washington game against the Steelers.
So that's
You picked Atlanta over New Orleans, which who knew that the Saints were going to come back and put it together.
Did you also pick the...
I picked the Falcons. We both picked the Bears to beat the Patriots, of course, but we were terribly wrong. And we both picked the Rams to beat the Dolphins.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tua and Tyreek got it done. So, getting back to this Ravens-Steelers game, I mean, for the AFC North lead, this is a big game. Who's going to shine?
I think Russell Wilson's going to get it done.
Oh, at home, you think the Russ Wilson train is just going to keep on rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
38-37.
that would be a great game.
Yeah.
And you should probably watch that one instead of the Packers and Bears at noon, because...
Or I could try and get Red Zone.
Yeah, you should get Red Zone. You definitely should get that. Maybe the next birthday, or maybe for Christmas, you should ask for it.
Oh yeah, that would be a good idea.
I'm going opposite. I like the Ravens in this one. I think Lamar Jackson is back on that MVP pace. I think it would be his 3rd MVP if he won this year, because he's got 2 already. I do agree with you, though. Russ is playing well, and that passing game is playing better than they have in a long time. So I'm going to say Ravens 26, Steelers 23.
Okay.
Okay, here's, oh boy.
A blowout, it looks like.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually changing my score to make it a bigger blowout.
Okay, what is it?
Jaguars Lions.
Yeah, if you remember a couple weeks ago, I think the Titans went to Detroit and the spread was 11.5 points.
Really good.
It was a
game for
huge
the
blowout.
Lions.
And the spread was 11.5, the biggest of the year. This spread is 13, so this is the biggest of the year now. The Jags only had 143 yards of offense against the Vikings, which is a low number. And Mac Jones had 3 turnovers, so he'll be in there again for Lawrence, going to Detroit. Did you see the Sunday night game with the Texans and Lions?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions got way down. They were
But
down.
then they came back.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when San Francisco and the Lions Final Four.
The NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Last year, you're right, because it was the flip though. The Lions had the big lead, and the 49ers came surging back. Right.
Mhm.
In this game, Houston led 23-7. I think it was even at halftime, and the Lions won 26-23. Goff threw 5 interceptions, and they won.
Wow.
That's just wild. That is a sign of a good team. If your quarterback is throwing 5 interceptions, your chances of
And
losing.
their defense is probably doing really
Their
good.
defense, their special teams, maybe it was their running game. I know Montgomery scored a touchdown against my fantasy team, and Gibbs is usually good too.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is it's like, okay, Goff has a bad game, but then the other guys step up, and the Lions just keep on winning. And I would expect them to keep on winning here in this one. but what do you think?
Of course, I'm picking a blowout.
Yeah.
Lions, of course, again.
Mm-hmm.
31 to 10.
I'm pretty close to you. You've got a 21-point win. I got a 20-point win. I'm going to say Lions 34, Jaguars 14. So we're both expecting this to be a real blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Here is not the greatest game.
Rams, Patriots.
Okay, the Rams lost on Monday Night Football. They didn't even score a touchdown. They've got Stafford, Tua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams at running back. They couldn't even muster one touchdown.
Did you say Tua?
Oh, whoops! Did I say Tua? I meant Puka. Did I mean Puka?
Probably.
Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. Yeah, sorry. And now they're tied for last place in their division with the Seahawks.
And I don't like to say it, but the Patriots did good against the Bears.
Yeah, and I wonder, did they do good, or was it just that the Bears were terrible? Because Drake May, he's played okay, but his interception to T.J. Edwards was one of the worst throws you'll ever see. Like, T.J. Edwards was just there the entire time.
Oh, yeah, I
And
remember that.
May threw it as if he didn't even see him. And it was like, how can you not see him? You're looking right at him. And he still threw it. That was what was like, what are you doing, Drake May? And yet, the Bears were so inept, so pitiful, that the Patriots got their third win of the season.
Yeah.
So sometimes when a team from the West Coast, like the Rams, has to travel to the East Coast, like in New England, it's tough to play at noon for those teams because it's like 3 hours before their normal kind of time that they're on.
Yeah.
Rams favored by 5. Do you think the Patriots get another win against a team that's probably more talented than them, or do you think the Rams get it done?
I think the Rams get it done.
Okay.
28 to 20.
Any thought on who's going to be the big touchdown producer for the Rams? Cup. Okay.
Cup.
Well, I'm taking the Rams too. I'm going to take the Patriots to cover. They've been playing a little feisty, I guess. So I'll say Rams 24, Patriots 20. Okay. Oh, if we thought the Rams-Patriots game was bad, yikes. What about this one?
Browns, Saints.
Ugh. We can be quick.
I don't even know if I want to see this game.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we would miss it if we didn't see it. Cleveland's in the conversation as the worst team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they got 2 wins. Jameis Winston is returning to New Orleans where he was a backup for a few years. He's now been named the starter for the Browns. So expect some interceptions for the Saints defense. The Saints got a surprising win against Atlanta after firing their coach. So I guess sometimes firing a coach can have good results.
Yeah, hopefully it's good results for the Bears.
I wish they fired more guys, though. Like I say, the head coach, you got to get him out of there. Until he's gone, I'm afraid we're going to get the same sorry performance. But we'll see. So yeah, the Saints got a little bump from firing their head coach, I guess. This is the closest game of the week, according to the experts, because the Saints are just 1-point favorites.
Last week, who did the Saints play?
They upset the Falcons.
No, the week before that.
The week before that, they lost to Carolina. That's what got them to fire their coach. Yeah.
Who's Carolina again?
Panthers? Yep. You know. Okay.
Sometimes I call the Carolina Cardinals.
Yeah, CAR. They both start with the same kind of. Yep, I get that. So, like I say, this is the closest game that the experts think. They've only got the Saints as 1-point favorites. So, kind of a tough one to call.
I'm picking a close game, but I don't care about this game.
Yeah, me neither.
21 to 20.
Ooh.
Saints.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the home team too. I'll say Saints 24, Browns 21. In a game that neither of us are very interested in.
Wow, 3 games in a row that aren't really good.
No, what's this one?
Colts, Jets.
Okay, so Indy against Buffalo, they lost 30-20. Joe Flacco threw three interceptions and lost a fumble. So he had 4 turnovers all by himself. The coach said today, Flacco's out, Anthony Richardson is back in.
No.
So the guy who said, "Hey coach, I gotta come out, I'm a little tired, can I skip this play?" That quarterbacks cannot do. Like, you cannot do that. And now he's the quarterback for this team again? Oh boy. We'll see how his teammates react. And like I say, he still can't hit a guy who is, 5 feet away from him. He'll just-
Right there.
yeah, right there. The Jets, they lost again. They lost 6-31 to the Cardinals. Just
Oh my
smoked.
gosh, I'm starting to think the Cardinals are going to make it to the Final Four.
Ooh, that'd be a big upset.
But actually, I think the Chiefs, Ravens, Detroit, and 49ers are going to be.
Even above the Commanders. You think the Niners will figure it out in the NFC? Yeah. Okay.
But
Well,
the Cardinals are doing great.
the Cardinals are doing better than expected, I would say. But the Jets, boy, getting blasted by the Cardinals. Things are getting bad for Aaron Rodgers and company, which is awesome because,
And the Cardinals are doing good.
yeah, definitely. At least if the Bears stink, I can take a little bit of comfort in the fact that Aaron Rodgers' career seems to be spiraling downhill, which I like. Okay, Jets are favored by 3.5 points at home in the 3rd straight clunker here in the noon slate. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I'm picking the Colts.
Okay.
Even with Richardson back in.
Okay.
28-27. Guessing you're picking the Jets.
Yeah, I don't
after
want
your
to. I
face.
don't want to, but Richardson, I worry about how the Colts are going to react to him coming back into the lineup. Yeah.
Last week when we picked the same exact score,
Yeah.
how did we do?
Let's see. The score that we picked was Buffalo 27, Indy 21, and the final score was Buffalo 30, Indy 20. So, we were within the same ballpark, but I think it went over the point spread, and we guessed over the point spread.
And of course, Buffalo won.
Buffalo won, and we both picked Buffalo to win, and we picked the spread, so we were kind of 3 for 3. We hit the over-under, we had Buffalo covering, and Buffalo won. So we didn't pick the exact score, but still pretty dang good in my opinion. Okay, you said you're picking the Colts, I'll pick the Jets, 19-16. Let's move on to a game that has more interest to you. It kind of looks like a bit of a blowout. Oh, Quinn, hi there. We can deal with it. What's the game, bud?
Vikings, Titans.
Okay. The Vikings are 6-point favorites here in Tennessee. Their 2nd straight road game against the AFC South. The Vikings, like we said, they did not score one single touchdown, but they did manage to escape Jacksonville with the win. And now they're 7-2. Their kicker, that was their the backup kicker.
Yeah.
Because their good kicker got hurt, and I think they put him on injured reserve. So he might miss 4 games. We'll see if you even need that. Maybe you won't. Tennessee, now 1 win, 5 losses with Will Levis as their starting quarterback. You know who's starting against the Vikings? Will Levis. So.
For the Vikings?
Or I'm sorry, against the Vikings. Will Levis will start against the Vikings.
Okay, so that's probably going to make it a bigger blowout.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the star for the purple? I mean, I know you're going to pick the purple. Who do you think is going to be the star of the game, though?
Gritty. Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson. I need that because he had his worst game of the year on my fantasy team.
He
He
did?
only had 40 yards.
Wow.
But it was because Darnold just kept forcing it to him and was throwing interceptions. And then I think he decided, I'm going to stop forcing it to Jefferson and I'm going to throw it to these other guys who are open. So, I'm guessing you're picking a pretty big blowout.
Well, Vikings 21-17.
Oh, so not a blowout. You're picking Tennessee to cover the spread. I'll take the Vikings to cover the spread. I don't like Tennessee. They're just not a strong team. I mean, even the Bears beat Tennessee. That tells you all you need to know about the Titans. Well, I'll go Vikings 23, Titans 16.
Here's not the best.
No, this is a pretty lousy schedule so far. We've seen a lot of duds. This is the last of the noon duds. What is it?
Raiders, Dolphins.
Yes, the Raiders now have lost 5 games in a row. They have the worst running offense in the NFL. They average only 77 yards a game on the ground, only 3.5 yards a play. That's not going to cut it in the NFL. The Dolphins win against the Rams, got them to 3-6. Yeah, they're 3-6. I would say their playoff hopes are faintly alive because they have the second easiest schedule for the rest of the season. The Dolphins do. So if they can play like they did against the Rams, both offensively and defensively, maybe they can get back in this playoff hunt. Because the bottom of the AFC playoff picture isn't that good. Right now, the Broncos are the 7th playoff team, and they're only 5-5. So at 3-6, you're not totally out of it yet. Dolphins favored by 7.5 at home. You think they're going to get it done in the sun in Miami, or you think the Raiders are going to pull the upset?
Miami.
Yeah.
Miami.
Cheetah?
Yep.
Yeah.
30-28.
So a close game. I'm going to go Miami covering the spread. Dolphins 28, Raiders 17.
Okay.
3 games at 3 o'clock.
Here's a pretty good game.
It's not bad, yeah.
Falcons, Broncos.
And actually, both these teams would be in the playoffs again. Both these teams would be in the playoffs if the season ended today. Let me grab this. Okay. The Falcons had a disappointing loss against New Orleans, but still lead the NFC South by 2 games over Tampa Bay. And New Orleans and Carolina are even worse. I think they only have 3 wins. So they're all trailing the Falcons. And Denver, oh man, they fought the Chiefs right down to the final play. They gave the Chiefs one of the best, toughest tests that the Chiefs have seen all year. Did you see how the game ended?
Yeah, that was a great block.
Can you believe it? A short field goal blocked to win it?
To win it all.
That's pretty awesome. And that field goal was blocked.
Really good for the Chiefs.
I mean, it looked like in Kansas City or Denver was just like, we don't need any more yards. Let's just make sure it's the last play of the game. Because then we'll kick it, we'll make it, and we'll get out of here with a win. They did not think that Leo Chanel from the University of Wisconsin was going to get in there and block it.
And the Broncos, it's just weird to think that the Broncos could have been the first team to beat the Chiefs this year.
Because Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, really?
Is not that good.
Not that good. You think a team like, a better team would
Like
be the
the
one.
Lions, maybe.
Sure. Or, we'll see when they played the Bengals earlier this year. It was really close, but the Chiefs won. They beat the Ravens the first game of the season. It was really close, but they won. So it doesn't matter who they play, they just find a way. So Denver found out the hard way that Kansas City just finds ways to win. Let's see here. Denver is a 2.5-point favorite in Mile High Stadium, or whatever they call it now. Denver Stadium, the Mile High City. Do you think Kirk Cousins will get a road win here, or do you think Bo Nix keeps kind of getting wins for the Broncos, surprisingly?
You know what? I think Kirk Cousins is going to get it done.
I think when you put it in those terms, when you think about who the quarterbacks are for these teams, yeah, it's easy to kind of say the Falcons.
I think Kirk Cousins is going to get it done.
Oh, you're not changing your pick, though. You had.
I really want to right now.
Well, do it. Do it.
No.
No? Were you going to give them a little bigger blowout? Or were you going to switch?
I was either gonna give the Broncos a higher score or a bigger blowout.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What are you settling in on?
Actually, I am changing it.
Yeah, change it.
Because the Falcons are not the Chiefs.
That is accurate. The Falcons are not as good as the Chiefs, and this game's in Denver, whereas the Broncos took the Chiefs to the wire in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. What did you settle on?
Falcons 28, Broncos 31.
So you've got Denver winning by 3. I've also got the Broncos winning by 3. I'll take Denver 24, Falcons 21. Okay, here's a game in the NFC West that is it's a tightly contested
Same
division.
game.
Yeah, it's okay.
Seahawks 49ers.
These teams played week 6, and the Niners, even without McCaffrey, won 36-24. Seattle has lost 5 of their last 6 games after a 3-0 start. So they're pretty cold. The Niners had a narrow win at Tampa Bay on Sunday. McCaffrey got back in there. He seemed to get his full, number of snaps, and he got a lot of carries, and he had a couple catches. So it seems like they put him right back out there as their number 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he does better against Seattle.
Mason and backup did pretty good.
He
but
did.
He got hurt, right?
He got hurt a little bit. His shoulder got injured, and he never really did anything for my fantasy team because I had both those guys. I was just hoping that, I had San Francisco's running back, whoever was playing. So Mason did okay, but McCaffrey, he does so many things for the Niners. Like, he can line up as a wide receiver, and then all of a sudden, how are you going to cover him? Are they going to put a linebacker on him? Well, McCaffrey's much faster than a linebacker. He's probably shiftier. He can just juke a safety. So how do you cover him if you line him out at wide receiver? It's really hard for teams.
It's just smart to line him up as receiver.
Yeah, but then, sometimes they want to give him handoffs too, so then he can be a running back. So he's very versatile. They can put him all over the field, and then the defense has to decide, how are we covering him now? Because he's lined up at wide receiver. Well, the Niners are 6.5 point favorites at home.
I'm picking the Niners
As am
because I pick them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you think they're one of the last 4 teams standing here this season, right?
I guess.
You're picking them for the NFC Championship game.
Or wait, no, instead of the 49ers, actually the Bills.
Well, the Bills are an AFC team,
Final
though.
4.
Well, they're an AFC team, though,
Oh,
so you'd have
yeah.
to kick out the Ravens or the Chiefs then. That's tough. Yeah.
I'll think about that.
Okay, we'll think about that. Maybe we'll talk about it next week as to who we
Who are
think
your
are.
Final 4 teams?
Well,
We'll
do I
have to
still have to
pick
kick?
the
Okay, I have to pick the Dolphins. Then I'm going to say Dolphins, and I'll take the Bills if I can take the Bills, sure. And then I'm going to go Lions because I picked the Lions. And
Ravens, Chiefs.
Lions, and I'll take San Francisco. I'll take the safe play.
Not the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs, I picked the Bills and the Dolphins, so I couldn't pick the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's how that works. Did I say the score of this one? Did you? I don't know. 49ers. I got 30-20 Niners.
Don't think I said my score.
Okay.
49ers 33, Seahawks 28.
Okay, so you got the Seahawks covering the spread. I got the Niners covering the spread at 30-20. Okay, we had a lot of bad looking games and a handful of good games. This one?
Not the best game.
Oh, wait a minute. This one?
Oh, this is a great game.
Maybe the best of the week.
Yeah, I think definitely. How's Buffalo covering the points or the win?
Favored? Yeah, they're actually 2 well, say who they're playing.
Buffalo's Chiefs.
Yeah.
Is like Mahomes hurt or Kelsey?
No. I think the people who are looking at that and saying it's a 2.5 point spread the two things that are going on, it's in Buffalo, okay?
True.
And the other part is they just see the Chiefs, ooh, they barely beat Denver. And they beat them on this
True.
freakish play, blocking a short field goal.
True.
And they barely beat Tampa Bay the week before. And they're just kind of squeaking by. So I think people think eventually,
Because those teams aren't the best teams.
yeah, so
And
all of a
this
sudden.
team is good.
And imagine it's going to be in front of Bills Mafia, those crazy fans who like to jump on tables that are on fire.
Yeah.
And this game is at 3:25, so they have like an extra 3 hours to have all that fun and light themselves on fire. So those Bills fans are going to be crazy. Getting into the game, like Kansas City, they have a different hero every single week. Oh, this week it's Kelsey. This week it's Mahomes. Last week it was Leo Chanel with the blocked field goal.
Yep.
I saw in the Falcons game, it was Nick Bolton making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage to stop, I think it was B. John Robinson, and win the game against Atlanta. So it's just, they have so many good players. Every guy on their team, it seems like, Gesundheit, every player on their team is ready to be a hero and ready to be the man of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills, 5 straight wins. I will say this, their only win this entire season against the team with a winning record was week 1 when they beat the Cardinals. So now the Bills are they 8-2 now?
Yeah, 8.
So 7 of their wins are against teams that are not very good. Like we say, Bills favored by 2.5. You're surprised by that? I guess I understand it. I am a little surprised by it too, though. Because the Chiefs are the 2-time defending champion and they're undefeated. So who's going to be the star that gets their team to win this week?
Well, I might want to change my score.
Do it. You're allowed. Because I don't know. A lot of teams. Obviously, I told you last week. Only 2 teams during the Super Bowl era, which means the last 58 years. Only 2 teams have gone undefeated. And only one of those undefeated teams won the Super Bowl. So it's hard to go an entire now 17-game season totally undefeated. So is this going to be the week that the Chiefs fall?
I'm picking the Bills because,
Yeah?
yeah.
How come though? Who, the fans, Josh Allen, James Cook, the defense?
The unbelievably crazy fans.
You think they're just going to be so pumped up that
Yeah.
the Chiefs will have trouble making their calls because they'll be making so much noise?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
I
That's
bet they're gonna purposely set off a tornado siren.
Oh, you think so? Okay. All right. Well, that would be loud, but it would bother both teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'll only use the tornado siren when the Chiefs have the ball.
Yeah.
There you go. So what do you think for a score? What did you decide on?
Bills 21-20.
Okay, I'm gonna go Bills 27-20. I know I've said the Chiefs are. I would never pick against the Chiefs until they lost, so I'm kind of lying picking the Bills here. But I just think it's time. I think the way they've played these razor thin close games lately, I think eventually they're gonna take a loss. Okay, Sunday night. An important game in the AFC wildcard picture, I will say.
This isn't the best game.
No, but I think it could be an interesting game.
Bengals Chargers.
Yeah, how about this? In that Thursday night game against the Ravens, Joe Burrow, 428 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Half of your shirt there, Jamar Chase. I think he probably did the gritty 3 times because he scored 3 touchdowns. And had 264 yards receiving. A big
Holy
day.
cow.
A really big day. And they lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Against who?
Baltimore. So now the Bengals in 2 games against the Ravens, I think, have scored 72 points combined and have 0 wins, 2 losses. The Ravens have gotten the best of them this year. Now the Chargers, they're 6-3. they're in pretty good position right now to get a wild card in the AFC.
If the season stops now, would the Chargers be in the playoffs?
Yep, they would be the 6th seed in the AFC, and I think that would mean they would travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Oh, Pittsburgh would get the win.
You think they
obviously.
would? I think those teams played in Pittsburgh earlier this year, and Herbert got hurt, and Fields beat them. Yep. Okay, getting back to this one, you know, the Bengals are going to need, they need this win if they want to be serious about
If they want
the wild
to
card.
make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep. Because this is one of the teams they're chasing.
Mhm.
Chargers are favored by 1.5 points in Los Angeles.
Well, I'm picking Bengals because I'm pretty sure I pick them every week this year.
Yeah, you might have. Well, you picked the Ravens to beat them last week, actually. But I know you're a Bengals fan, and I know you believe in Burrow and Chase.
They're my
That's
third
for sure.
favorite team.
They need some defense. They need their
Yeah.
defense to start showing up.
Next draft, they need defense.
Because they can't fix it this year, really, with the players they have.
Well,
What kind of score do you have in the Sunday night game?
37-31.
Okay, that'd be a fun game. Hope you can stay up for the whole thing, but could get kind of late with that many points.
Yeah.
I'll go Bengals 28, Chargers 23. So I agree with you. I think Burrow will get it done. Battle of Texas. Who's playing in the Monday night game?
Texans, Cowboys.
Yeah, Houston blew that big 16-point lead against Detroit.
Until Detroit won.
And but they're still first place in the AFC South by 2 games over the Colts. And they beat the Colts twice. And the Colts are switching quarterbacks now for the already second time. They're Richardson to Flacco, Flacco to Richardson, now back to, yeah.
Lot of hands.
Yeah. Dallas, listen to this. The Cowboys in 4 games in Dallas this year.
They lost.
They've lost every game, and they've been outscored by 94 points in those 4 games, which is about 23 or 24 points a game they're getting pasted by. And that's at
Gosh.
home. How did they not fire anybody this week?
Cowboys are just bad, I feel like, this year.
It kind of looks like it, and with no Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, he was bad. They brought in their other backup, Trey Lance, for a couple plays. He didn't do anything. So, yeah, you talk about teams that are kind of falling apart. I think Dallas is one of those. Yeah. So, we got Houston favored by 7.5 points, even on the road. What do you expect to happen here?
I just have to pick the Texans, I feel like.
I do too.
30-21.
I'm close. I've got Houston 30, but the Cowboys 14. Okay, I'll quickly run through what the teams on bye week are doing. Cardinals are on bye. They're 6-4, first place in the NFC West. They have allowed 0 touchdowns the last 3 home games against the Chargers,
yeah.
Bears, and Jets.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 3 wins for the Cardinals. So like you say, maybe they could be a surprise team in the playoffs in the NFC. But you're going to have to beat the Niners and or the Lions or the Eagles or the Commanders or
Or
the
even
Falcons.
the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs are in the AFC, remember. So that would be the Super Bowl. Carolina's on bye, coming back from Germany and their big win. Bryce Young's got 2 wins in his last 3 starts. And their running back, Chuba Hubbard, is kind of tearing it up.
He
Two-
did good in that game.
All over the place. He ran for like 150 yards or something. The Giants, are they another team that's not going to make a change this week?
No.
Are they going to fire their coach, Brian Daboll? Are they going to bench their quarterback, Danny Dimes? It doesn't sound like it, but we'll see. They also have a week to figure it out. And Tampa Bay now, hot start, but 4 losses in a row. And the last 2 games they lost to the 2 Super Bowl teams from last year,
Yep.
Niners and Chiefs. So they're
It was a
losing. but
close game.
both games were
of them
close, so they're losing close games to really good teams, but they're 4-6 to get in the NFC playoff picture. They got to start winning some games too. So, whoa, your mom is making a really strange face. That means we must be time to go. We had fun this week. Boom. Bears, don't test my patience anymore. Come on, at least show up against Green Bay. At least give some effort. You gonna pitch your paper?
Oh.
Do it. Party's over. All right, people.
All right.
Till next week.